Ultimate meme coin case study, the $490 million collapse. What if I told you a viral internet catchphrase turned into $490 million overnight, then vanished just as quickly, leaving thousands of investors devastated? The Hawk Tuah scandal wasn't just a crypto disaster. It was a masterclass in modern financial manipulation. But here's what makes this case truly fascinating. The insiders who orchestrated this scheme set up one of the most brazen pump and dump operations we've ever documented. By the end of this video, you'll discover exactly how these schemes unfolded, the devastating consequences for investors who lost millions, and the critical warning signs that could save you from the next crypto catastrophe. These aren't just stories, they're urgent lessons in an increasingly dangerous financial landscape. What happened? When Haley Welch uttered her viral phrase in a street interview in December 2024, she couldn't have imagined it would transform into a cryptocurrency worth nearly $500 million. But within days of its launch, the Hawk Tuah coin skyrocketed 900%, captivating investors worldwide with its meteoric rise. What most didn't realize was that this success had been meticulously engineered from the start. The Hawk Tuah coin was built on a deceptively simple strategy: create artificial scarcity and demand through controlled distribution. Court documents would later reveal that 80 or 90% of the token supply was held by a small group of insiders, the same people promoting the coin across social media platforms. As new investors poured money in, driving the price to unprecedented heights, these insiders began systematically selling their holdings. Each sale was carefully timed to avoid triggering panic, but the volume was significant enough to extract millions in profits. But wait, almost simultaneously, a similar scheme was unfolding with the Trump coin on the same blockchain. Launched in early 2025 after Trump's political success, it quickly amassed a $12 billion valuation. Yet behind the scenes, 80% of these tokens were controlled by Trump-affiliated entities, creating a staggering conflict of interest. The collapse, when it came, was devastating and swift. Hawk Tuah's value plummeted 95% in hours as whale wallets emptied and liquidity vanished. Investors who had bought at the peak saw their investments essentially wiped out. For Trump coin holders, the crash came from an unexpected direction: the launch of a competing Mania coin split investor interest, triggering a 50% drop overnight. Both cases represented textbook rug pulls, schemes where developers abandon a project after extracting maximum value, leaving investors with worthless tokens. But these weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a disturbing pattern emerging across celebrity-backed cryptocurrencies. The consequences. The financial damage was catastrophic. Thousands of retail investors collectively lost tens of millions of dollars across both coins. Many had invested significant portions of their savings, believing celebrity associations guaranteed legitimacy. Beyond financial losses, legal consequences quickly mounted. Multiple class action lawsuits were filed against Hawk Tuah's creators, alleging securities fraud and market manipulation. Welch herself faced intense public scrutiny and reputational damage, despite denying direct involvement in the scheme. Perhaps most concerning, these high-profile failures damaged public trust in cryptocurrency as a whole, empowering regulators to push for stricter oversight. But the real question remains: how can everyday investors protect themselves from the next inevitable scheme? The answer lies in understanding the three critical warning signs that appeared before both collapses. Lessons learned. The single most important lesson from these cases is that token distribution is everything in cryptocurrency. Both Hawk Tuah and Trump coin shared a fatal red flag: excessive insider ownership. When 80–90% of tokens are controlled by developers or founding teams, it creates the perfect conditions for market manipulation. Legitimate projects typically distribute tokens more widely, with developers holding 10–20% at most. But here's the deeper pattern. These ownership structures weren't accidental. They were deliberately obscured, which raises a critical question. How can you detect these imbalances before investing? The first missed red flag was the absence of locked liquidity. In both cases, Project creators maintain complete access to the liquidity pools that determine the coin's values. When developers can withdraw this liquidity at any time, they hold the power to crash the market instantly. Here's a surprising connection most investors missed. Both coins launched with minimal documentation. Neither had comprehensive white papers explaining tokenomics or long-term utility. Instead, they relied entirely on cultural momentum and celebrity association. The most counterintuitive insight? The more aggressively a coin is marketed, the more carefully you should scrutinize it. Legitimate projects focus on technology and utility. Fraudulent ones invest heavily in promotion to attract victims quickly before collapsing. How to protect yourself? Here are 3 actionable strategies to protect yourself. First, before investing in any cryptocurrency, verify wallet distributions using blockchain explorers. If fewer than 10 wallets control more than 50% of tokens, consider it a serious warning sign. Second, adopt this counterintuitive approach. Ignore price action completely for your first 48 hours of research. Focus exclusively on fundamentals, team transparency, code audits, and token utility. Price movements are easily manipulated in the short term. Finally, remember this crucial perspective. No legitimate investment opportunity requires immediate action. The pressure to buy now before it's too late is a manipulation tactic designed to bypass your critical thinking. The most valuable protection isn't technical, it's psychological. Understanding how these schemes exploit fear of missing out is your strongest defense against becoming the next victim. That was it for this episode. Hope you liked the content. Hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and leave a comment below telling us which financial crime case you want us to break down next. Because remember, in the world of financial crime, what you don't know can hurt you. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.